Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. It is the weekend and my mom and I are going on our first summer hike of the season. It should be a fairly easy hike. It's only 0.7 of a mile, but I'm still excited to get out there and go on a hike. I am starting on my journey of the hike. This is just the first start of the stairs, not even to the trail. Now I have made it to the trail and so excited. I finally made it to the waterfall and the water was coming down so hard and fast. It was hard to keep my balance, but I got to touch the water at the waterfall and it was so awesome. It made me so happy. I just got back from the hike and it was so much fun. I'm home now and I want to make a smoothie just to help with my electrolytes because it was very hot outside. I'm going to make a vanilla-based protein smoothie. So this is the protein that I use. I love that it also has collagen. I have my unsweetened almond milk. I usually like to get the peanut butter at Winco, but I don't have any, so I will just use this peanut butter. I am also going to add 2 dates, and instead of ice, I have a whole frozen banana. I start off adding in 2 cups of almond milk. I add 2 scoops of my protein powder. Right when you open the container, it smells so yummy. My bananas going in and I am using them as ice. I feel like it just tastes better that way. I didn't think of this literally until right now as I'm making my smoothie, but instead of using peanut butter, I'm just going to use my powdered peanut butter. So I added just a couple scoops of the powdered peanut butter in. Last but not least, my 2 medjool dates. Now this is where the magic happens. This is what my smoothie looks like after it's all blended together, and seriously, it's so delicious and refreshing. 10 out of 10. We are at Harmon's and look what we found, the almighty star fruit. I was also very intrigued by the Asian pear, so gotta get that. They had so many different pears and look at those huge freaking jackfruits. I ended up only getting those 2 fruits, but oh my gosh, there is literally everything here and I want to try it all. So we are coming back. I got home from my hike, got home from the grocery store, and I'm feeling more settled. So I thought I would share my experience with the hike today. The hike was seriously so much fun, but I almost didn't end up going to where the waterfall was throughout all the rocky water areas because of how much anxiety I was feeling inside. I was very scared to walk up all the rocky parts and go through that area, so I stopped right before that and I sat for a really long time. My mom went up there without me because I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do it, I'm too nervous. So she went along and was up there for like probably 30 minutes and I was just sitting there waiting for her. Finally, she came back down and I decided I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go up there, I'm gonna check everything out, and I wanna tell you the reason why I finally decided to go up there. It may sound kind of bad. I hope it doesn't come across rude, but there was a lot of smaller people going up there. Finally, there was a family that was a little bit bigger that went up there, and I feel very insecure about doing things because I'm bigger. I get a lot of anxiety about doing things just because of my size. I get in my head a lot feeling like, oh, I won't be able to do this because of my size, and it kind of gets to my brain really bad. But I saw this group of people go up there who were heavier set like me, and that's when the turning point came, when my mom came back down and everything just switched in my brain. Like, if they can do it, I can do it too. She told me, like, it's a little bit scary, but you can do it. There's a whole bunch of branches and things you can hold on to. there's some really big rocks that if you stand on them, they're pretty sturdy. So I went up there and I did it. It is the morning after the hike and I am feeling so exhausted. After we got back from the store, I spent majority of the day just relaxing because the hike took a lot out of me. I still needed to get in a few steps to hit my step goal, so my wife and I went out with our puppies and went on a little late night walk for 15 minutes, and I was able to get to 8,000 steps. When I first wake up in the morning, I'm not very hungry, so I decided that I would clean a little bit, but as I'm cleaning, I'm just tired and wanting a break, so I thought, well, let's take a break and let's probably eat breakfast because it's around 11 o'clock. So as I went into the kitchen and was thinking, okay, am I gonna have my yogurt with fruit or am I gonna have my eggs with a sweet potato? But I was just like, oh, I do not have the energy to make that. So I decided to get out my meal prep dinner and just warm it up. It's weird. I usually don't eat my dinner for breakfast, but it's easy. I don't have to prepare it. So I'm like, we're just having dinner for breakfast this morning. There's some other things that I want to talk about when it comes to the hike because I feel like the hike was such a huge accomplishment for me. I've now been on my weight loss journey for over a year, and over that time, I have worked on building up my stamina to be able to walk for long periods of time. But it is different when it comes to walking upstairs because that hike was literally just uphill and it had stairs kind of like built into it, and there was like paths where it was like big rocks that you can tell that like had been put there and stuff to make the hike easier, but it was all uphill. And that's different than what I am used to. When you first get to the area where you're going to start the hike, there's a hill with probably 25 stairs. I walked up that and I was like, ooh, a little out of breath, but I got this. Then you have to walk around a neighborhood that is still pretty steep. And then I started feeling it and I was like, breathing in and out like, okay, I've got this. And then you hit to where the trail actually starts and all I could see ahead was just a bunch of stairs. And I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? But we just started walking up the stairs. And as I was going, I kept telling myself, you can do this. You've got this. And I just kept stepping. And I was feeling so freaking proud of myself that I was able to keep going on each of the steps, but as each of the steps kept going, it got harder and harder. So I got to a point where I needed to take a break, and breaks are okay. My mom and I took a couple standing breaks where we just kind of looked out at the view and were centering ourselves. And as we kept walking, I even got to a point where I was like, Mom, I gotta sit down and I need to take a bigger break because this is getting intense. And I did get a little anxious because as I was sitting, there was people coming up the stairs, and I always get nervous that like, oh, they're going to judge me because I'm sitting. Just all these different thoughts come in and it just clouds my mind. But I told myself it's okay that I'm sitting and taking a break, because as we got up and continued on our journey of this hike, they literally were ahead and taking a break. And as we went throughout the hike, so many others were taking breaks as well. So then we hit a point to where we could see the water, and it was so beautiful. So we sat down for a minute, took some pictures, and it was really fun. But the part where I got very anxious came up, and it was just, you had to walk through the water with the rocks, and I was so nervous to do that. I pretty much just tapped out at that point, and I told my mom I wasn't gonna do that like I talked about earlier, but I am so glad that I ended up going, because I felt like you have made it this far and you're not gonna be able to see the waterfall. And I feel like I worked so hard on getting myself up there. I kept having all of these thoughts of like, oh, you can do this, but the anxiety and all of that stuff inside of me was just like stopping me from taking and like just taking charge and going and doing it. But it's really hard with my anxiety because I get so overwhelmed, and sometimes it's hard to overcome those feelings inside. But like I said, I freaking did it, and I feel like on the top of the world right now because this is also something that would have been a lot harder for me to accomplish at 400 pounds. Now look at me. Yes, my thighs are burning today and walking feels very difficult. I stand up and I'm like, oh, every step that I take, my legs are hurting. But it's one of those feel-good pains because I am just feeling so proud of myself that I was able to accomplish that hike. And sometimes I feel like we focus so hard on the number on the scale going down. When I started my 100 days of weighing in, the weight loss is not the most important part for me. I know that's just kind of what happens when you're on your weight loss journey. You do check up on those things, and I do as well. But what I want from my weight loss journey is to have more movement in my body. I want to eat more nutritious foods. I just want to be more healthy. That is really what I am wanting for my journey, is to be literally a better version of myself. I feel like I have always struggled with myself inside and feeling like I am the best version of me. So improving those things, especially movement, because I am someone who I love being up and doing things, but being in a bigger body, that is hard to do. I love being out. I love spending time with my family. I love adventuring. I love walking. Anything that gets me out of my house, I spend quite a lot of time in here. I love being out of here. I have spent a lot of time in here because of my body, because I feel uncomfortable in my skin. I have struggled with confidence. I'm insecure of pretty much just being out in the world because I'm bigger. I have always felt the feeling of being judged because I'm bigger, so I don't do as much as I want to. But as I am gaining more confidence and feeling better about myself and just getting healthier, it gets easier to be able to do those things and just enjoy life more. And I don't want to say that like if you're bigger, you shouldn't be able to enjoy stuff. I feel like we all should be able to enjoy and have fun. But for me, it's very hard for me to enjoy stuff and have fun because of how self-conscious I feel about myself. And to be quite honest, it is just a lot more difficult to do fun stuff when you are 400 pounds. It takes a toll on your body. If I went on this hike when I was my size a year ago, oh my gosh, I would have struggled getting through that hike. Just like the Tulip Festival, I can do so much more in my smaller body. I still am heavy. I am around 300 pounds, but that is almost 100 pounds gone for me. So my body can do so much more with all of that weight gone. It is just so crazy to look back to how my life was a year ago and see how much I have changed. I've always struggled with anxiety and depression, and that's something that I'm always going to have to work through. It's not something that goes away, and I know that, but I know I can work on my mindset, and my mindset has always been a very negative one. So that is where I'm changing, and I am trying to be a more positive person because it really helps me. And so this past year, I have noticed a big change in how I'm feeling overall inside. I used to be a very like down, just dark, negative, not happy person. But I notice like when I'm talking to my wife or we're just seeing like the changes in me, we notice that like I just smile more. And that simply is just because I am in a better mindset. I wear my feelings, emotions, everything on my sleeve. So, you know, literally what I'm feeling if I am whatever emotion it is. And for the most part, I was just not in a good mindset. So, and you could tell that, but I am just changing and I am feeling happier and better inside. And sometimes I'll get those comments of like, you're glowing. And I love that because I literally am just happy. But happiness is not something that just like is fairy dust and gets sprinkled on you. No, you have to work on your happiness. And I feel like that's something that I've had to realize because I would just, hope and dream and wish that one day I could be happy. But I've had to realize that I have to make my happiness. I have to choose my happiness. I have to be the one to create my happiness. And each day I'm creating a better mind for myself and working on my happiness. It seems kind of silly saying creating a better mind for myself, but I have to work on that every single day. And your mental health is so important when it comes to your weight loss journey. I think that if you are in a bad state of mind when you lose weight, it will not help you be successful with maintaining your weight. And then when you get down and you still feel bad about yourself, even though you've lost the weight, it's because you haven't worked on the mental side of losing weight, which is extremely important. So I've gone through those experiences. Throughout my whole life, I have lost lots of weight, gained it back, lost and gained. The thing that I did not work on was what? My mental health. And so I am working on my mental health now. And literally, it can just be like telling yourself in the mirror in the morning, wow, I love you. Or like, wow, you're beautiful. Or just saying something positive to yourself, because I am so negative to myself. I am the meanest person ever. But it's like, if you're gonna be in your body forever and go on a weight loss journey, how is that gonna work? Because you have to get yourself through some pretty hard crap on your weight loss journey, because to be honest, losing weight is difficult. So you have to be like pumping yourself up on your weight loss journey. So if you are trying to pump yourself up on your weight loss journey, yet you're telling yourself, I don't like you, you're funny looking, going through all these different things that you are just hating about yourself, how is that going to help you? So that's kind of what I've realized, that like, if I'm going to go through this and be successful, I have to be nice to myself. Just have to show this Mr. Cutie, he's a snoozing. It has been the turning point for my weight loss journey, changing my mindset and being more positive, especially towards myself. But I just wanted to share that experience with you because I feel like the hike was such a big win on my weight loss journey. I cannot wait to see what else I accomplish and achieve within this year. As always, thank you so much for supporting me on my weight loss journey and watching another one of my videos. Remember to stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!